welcome to Women Talk, the Ensign Empowerment Radio Show Live. This is your girl, your host, Sharita Berry, and let's say, here goes those sleigh bells ringing, ding, 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 ding. It's gonna be a happy holidays to you. Don't forget you can follow us on all major podcast platforms such as Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and so many more podcast platforms. That's Women Talk, the Ensign Empowerment Radio Show. What? Live. Hey guys, welcome to today's show. I'm your host, Sharita Berry, and I want to say happy holidays to you. Happy holidays to you. Happy holidays. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell sing. Jingle bell ring and jingle bell sing. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a little shiny nose, and if you ever saw him, you would never say it close. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. On the first day of Christmas, won't you look into me? I'll put you in a red tree. I see those sleigh bells ringing, ring, ring, ringing, ring. Oh, wow. Yes, it's the holidays, and everybody is rushing to get them gifts mailed off into the mail. You know, during COVID, during Christmas time, my goodness, mail was just backed up. People was receiving their gifts like months later. And I do believe people are still receiving Christmas gifts. I'm dead serious. I'm just saying all day long. But nonetheless, welcome to a very special show. This is part 1 of my journey. And as you see, hospital stay. And let's not forget, y'all, it's the holiday season. This time of year, it's time to be a blessing to a family in need. There are so many children that will go without this holiday season. There are so many programs that you can be a part of, you and your family, or you and your church, you and your business, or you and your partner, you and your community can give back to children that are in need. That's the Angel Tree program, and there's the Angel Tree Prison program, and then there's the Salvation Army Christmas Tree program, and then there's Toys for Tots. Now, when I say Angel Tree, that means the Angel Tree from the Salvation Army and the Angel Tree from the Prison Ministry. It's two different things, and they work differently. The Prison Ministry Angel Tree, they work with children, parents that are incarcerated that has children. Yes. That's cool beans. I'm on board with them every year. And then there's Toys for Tots. But there's still a lot of programs out there that give back to children in the community and families in the community. Or if you and your family can get together a Christmas box and give it to a family that's in need of a Christmas dinner. Or think about fixing a plate for a neighbor or two that won't have a dinner on that table. Or elderly. Hey, yeah. But nonetheless, let's keep it moving. Yay! Yay. So today's podcast is brought to you by Rings in Chains. That's right, Rings in Chains. RINGS, the letter N, Chains, CHAINS. That's for your holiday stocking stuffers, or that perfect gift, keychain, bracelet, or necklace for your special someone. Go to www.rings, RINGS, the letter N, chains, CHAINS.etsy.com. Once again, that's www.ringsinchains.etsy.com for that holiday stuffers, stocking stuffer gift. So my story, hospital stay. On November 13th, I got up that morning. November 13th, 2023, I got up. And I told my daughter that my stomach was hurting. And I just sat there on the bed. Then I heard God say, get up and go to the hospital. Call EMTs. So I did that. The EMT people came. I was sitting in my room. They took my vitals. My blood pressure was 179 over 90 something like that. But I know it was 179 over something, but it was high. My oxygen level was low. It was 89. And the normal oxygen level was between 97, 98, or 99. But it was low. It was 89. So they were concerned. And they said I needed to go to the hospital. So my daughter, any given time, she was like, no, I don't think you should go. But she said, Mom, you should go. But I recall one time when it was like that, it was 179, my oxygen was 89, she complained. And she was like, you're going to do this to me? And you know I need a babysitter there. Yeah. So she always say I make her out to look like a bad person. When I think back, that was very selfish of her. And I should have listened to my intuition, and I should have listened to the EMTs at that time and went to the hospital. Didn't know everything was going to just pile up. And so I went to the hospital, and next thing I know, I was waiting for a room. I went to a room. They was checking my vitals and everything. Blood pressure was still high. Oxygen level was still low. So they drew blood, and next thing I know, I was in ICU. I was in ICU. I lost recollection of memory for almost a couple of days because I don't remember. I remember going to ICU. Anything after that, I remember bits and pieces. I do remember them giving me morphine because my head would not stop hurting. Then they gave me some Lasix, which I was told I had fluid on my lungs and I had fluid in my body. I did not know because I went into the hospital because I thought I was having shortness of breath. It turned out I had fluid on my lungs and fluid all throughout my body, a little bit fluid around my heart. And I didn't know. I didn't know, people. I was doing everything I could to lose weight, doing my exercise, but I slacked off. I don't know why I slacked off. I couldn't tell you why. But I slacked and I stopped. I could not tell you why. I could say I got depressed. I got a little bit down. I got a little bit overwhelmed because my daughter kept throwing her kids on me to watch. And so I went in November the 13th. ICU for I don't know how many days. They was just taking fluid off of me. My sister told me later on when I came home, she said, yeah, girl, they kept saying it was just, that fluid was coming like crazy, that they had to run in there and leak dump the fluid bag, the bag out because it was about to burst. So the fluid just coming. They gave me a catheter. So I couldn't eat because they did not want me to eat. And then after I stayed in ICU for a couple of days, gave me the okay where I can eat. Still tested me, still oxygen level was kind of low. Then they tested my oxygen in my blood, my CO2's carbon dioxide. Turns out my carbon dioxide in my blood was really, 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 really high, which I was told that my body and my lungs wasn't pushing it out enough. So it was really, really high. My carbon dioxide and my blood got up to 100, which is high. So after being in ICU for a couple of days, then I finally went to a room, which they call it a step-down room. I'm not going to name the name of the hospital, but I'm not going to name any names, anything like that. But I'm here in Richmond, Virginia. After I went to the step-down room, I was in the hospital. I saw the lung doctor, and she told me that because of my oxygen, my CO2 was high. They was trying to get it down. From there, I went to a sleep BiPAP machine, which they call a Trilogy. And the Trilogy machine, just like the normal BiPAP machine that people use for sleep apnea, but this Trilogy pumps out oxygen at the same time while a person sleeps to help them breathe. So I had to go on that one. I did have the smaller one when I was in ICU. Then they put me on the Trilogy machine. Had it during nighttime when I went to sleep for sleep apnea, which I did not know I had. So after that, they still was trying to get my CO2s down. Well, it got down, but it was still high. But it got down to a number where they could say, okay. So my lung doctor told me that because, it was so high, and when it came down to enough, but it's still high, my oxygen in my blood was damaged to the point where it won't turn back to normal. So I was in the hospital, I had to go on oxygen while I was in the hospital. I was on, I think, 6% or something like that. Then they turned it down to 4, then 3, then 2, then 1%, then 1.5. They kept it at 1 while I was sitting down. And then I'm still in the hospital, checking my blood. On a Saturday morning, one time my blood pressure got up to 200 and something, over something. That was high. Then it went down. They kept changing medications, blood, because I do have his blood. I'm not claiming it, but they said I have high blood pressure. I always knew that, but I'm not claiming it because I am claiming my healing in the name of Jesus Christ. And so because of that, they kept changing my blood pressure medications, tried to get my blood pressure stable. And they finally changed it, and it got down stable enough. And then one night, my blood pressure got to 109, I was like, I ain't never had no blood pressure like that before. I thought there was something wrong with my blood pressure was dropping or something. I was totally freaked out. And the doctor said that's kind of normal, but still we got to watch it because if it drops down to 90 something, then that's a concern. But my blood pressure one time got to 108, 109, 110, 112, 118. I was like, what is going on? So it got stable, kept if my blood pressure was fluctuating back and forth. So I was in the hospital almost, you say, just about the whole entire month of November, you might as well say. You might as well. So I had talked to a lot of doctors, a lot of lung doctors and respiratory therapists. I had to take treatments for the asthma and different things. And it was just so overwhelming so a nutritionist, my doctor talked to me about gastro bypass surgery, bariatric surgery, and all that good stuff. So this is part 1, hospital stay. And we'll come back tomorrow and have part 2, hospital stay. The picture that you see, that's a few days after I got out of the hospital. My son took my picture. So just to let you all know, when I went in, I weighed 569. They took off 44 pounds of fluid off my body. So when I got home, I weighed 524. And I weighed myself 524. And I decided to do a weigh-in every Friday, every other week. So this is part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. And don't forget, today's podcast brought to you Rings and Chains. www.rings, RINGS, the letter N, chains, CHAINS.Etsy.com for your latest stocking stuffers this holiday season. Peace, and I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to today's podcast. Stay tuned for part 2 tomorrow as we talk more about hospital stay, my journey. Your girl Sharita, out.